session. Thank you. Please take your seat, please. Please help me. Somebody help me. Thank you. Ignacio, you have the poster session later. You have your conversation. Thank you. Camilla, please take your seat. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know. It was short. This first coffee break was short, but I promise later it will be longer. Okay? So now we have to start with the second session dedicated to the forestry networking. We called this session the state of the art of the European networks that are dealing with forestry issues. And when we decided to host this conference of the fund on the One Forest project, we thought that it was important to invite the representatives of some of the most important European networks dedicated to forestry, because they are working hard for the sector, but often they are working alone, and they don't even know each other. And it was the occasion to meet, to present their main objectives, their main challenges, put a face, of course, on a network, and just see if there is room for synergy. And I would like to invite the next speakers to present their network with this aim, with main aim. I mean, to make to think about the possible synergies between the networks in order to work more closely. And the session will be closed by an intervention from the European Commission, the forestry group from the DG Agri by Thomas Sedlak, talking about the opportunities that are offering from the European Commission in order to work all together. So let's break the ice with Samuele P. Samuele is the coordinator of the ERIAF network and is here on behalf of the Tuscany region government. Please, Samuele, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Riccardo. Good morning, everyone.
I take also the mic.
It's a great pleasure to be here presenting the network of areas, which is a very original and unique experience of networking at regional level. But before going into the details of the presentation, and I guess that I can use this also for, okay. Let me thank, well, those that have organized this meeting, these 2 days works, which is very interesting for the same reasons that Riccardo has reminded us. A special thank to the General Director of Cesefor, Pablo Sabin, and for the Castilla y León region, special thank to Mr. José Ángel Rajo. Arats, my apologies for my Spanish pronunciation. And I would like also to thank all of you as partners of very interesting project. I would like to have a more deep exchange in the next networking opportunities with those that have just presented an incredible project like One Forest. I would like to thank you all for your work and your kind presentations. And last thank all to all of you that are animating this amazing work network, which is related to the forestry policies. And now I would like to move more in the presentation of the ERIAF. ERIAF is the European Regions for Innovations in Agriculture, Food and Forestry. Is a very specific and peculiar network. And before starting to share some slides, I would like to tell you which was the idea behind the creation of that network. If you look the European democratic space, you see many institutional actors that are promoting legitimate interest of the different level of governance. The cities have a network like Eurocities. We know that there are plenty of national platforms for the institutional actors at the national stage. And if you look to the regions as institutional entities, that in that European democratic space was lacking, let me use this simple expression, a more comfort zone for the regional authorities, where it was possible to have, in a also informal way, exchange opportunities, focusing on some matters really related to some specific interest for the regions. And well, every regions deal and cooperate very well with the committee of the European Committee of Regions. That's perfectly normal, and they are doing an extremely useful work. But what was lacking in that European democratic space was exactly a partnership, mainly permanent partnership for the regions that they wanted to be more effective and productive and also inspiring in some sectors, like as the name of the network remind us, which are agriculture, food and forestry. And all these sectors have been always approached with this transversal main criteria, which is innovation. That's why more than 10 years ago, we have decided in Tuscany with a core of group of brave regions to start this experience, which is pretty unique and peculiar. And after 12 years, if it's still functioning, it also may be also useful for those regions that are attending the network. Well, that was the main idea for creating a network like this, to support the regions, but also to let the regions know each other better in order to have more opportunities for new partnership consortiums on different European projects, as we will see. Yeah, here you have a taste of the network. You see that the map is including mainly the regions of the European Union, but we have been also approached, and we are able to involve through the networks that are included in area of also regions that are not in the European Union itself. Well, the numbers are increasing, and now between members and observers, we have about 100 regions in touch with the network. As Tuscany, we have decided to act as a facilitator, offering as a service provider to the network, the secretariat, which is a person like me that has some specific task in my weekly work plan, dedicated also to ERIAF. But you will see very soon, without the cooperation of the other actors of the network, is not possible to keep going the network as we know, and how we are planning to improve. You see in that slide some different elements that I invite you to pay attention. Well, for example, if a region is interested to join to IRF, it simply send a letter of intent of joining the network and signing and approving a final declaration that has been also given to the European Commission at the beginning of this experience more than 12 years ago. That is a very simple act that is a formal act because it's signed by the regional authorities of that region, which is intending to join the network. But it's also a very simple and easy formal act to produce. But also, if you are not formally a member of the network, you can participate to the working group's activities and to be included in some European projects that are also prepared by the working groups itself. You see a list of working groups here. Actually, that list it will be very soon updated because that is a description of the current situation of our working groups, which are 10 working groups, now 11. But in the next annual conference, we will decide to refresh a little bit and to update the really existing working groups, because we need working groups, not only groups that are stay in a website page and are not active. And we are expecting positive news on the creation of new working group, which it means that there are some working groups, for example, like consumer involvement in agri-food innovation. It will be included in other working group, and as well there are some working group that they will decide to change their name, and that's a sign of vitality of the network. Why we are doing that on the annual conference? Because in each year we have this annual meeting where the working groups are also promoting and proposing some topics and some thematics. We will see very soon the program of our next annual conference. Let me invite you to see also what is another important body of the network, which is the coordination committee, which is, in other words, the executive body. While those regions that have shown more commitment in those years to the network, they can ask to attend also the meeting of the coordination committee. Especially in the coordination committee, there are also representatives of the working group leaders, which are the chairs of the working groups that are proposing and doing activities on regular basis. And let me at this stage also pay a tribute to the activity of one of the most working group that we have in IRF, which is the Forested Regions Working Group. And I see here Álvaro Picardo, and I would like sincerely to thank him because he's doing an extremely important work, very participating are your working group sessions online. And Álvaro, let me also thank ideally Vera Yilipeti from North Karelia, also because not only because she's doing with you a great job, but also because she is leaving very soon, and I think that ERIAF has to recognize her commitment, and she's always been very professional. And one of the reasons why ERIAF is so catchy as a network is also because it's very informal and easy to join this kind of meeting of the forested regions working group or of the other working groups, which are also an interesting moment to exchange of view. Usually you are always an expert introducing the update elements of the, in that case, forestry sector, or you have also the opportunity to listen in a working group meeting some case studies or some best practice around Europe that are always inspiring the participants of the working groups. And let me very clear on that, because I realize that something is something that can surprise people that are approaching ERIAF, and all these kind of activities are free. Because sometimes in the ERIAF email we are receiving a request that shall we pay some fee for attending this interesting working group session, etc. No, it's simply an exchange of view. And you see a list of collaborations. I don't want to repeat the exercise of describing each one in the list. Simply, we are constantly in contact with the European institutions. Is also a credibility achieved by the network, because we are through our working groups, we are preparing papers that freely we send to the DGs concerned to that matters our policies. And I think that this kind of informal exchange is always appreciated, and gives also, again, that credibility that helps, for example, having invitation from the Commission or some other speakers from other European institutions, and also to, to be listened in those moments where new tenders are written. That's also a very specific opportunity that we can use thanks our activity in those years. Well, that's the program for the annual conference. I saw 3 minutes left, and you can also attend the conference. Mainly of the sessions of the conference also are in hybrid mode, and then you can also attend online. But of course, it's always welcome your participation in presence. Is in Seinäjoki, in south of Ostrobotnia, a region in Finland, and it's from June 11 to June 13. And you see, for example, that's a short version of the program for sure. There is a specific session dedicated to the working group meetings that you will see updated in online version of the program. And that's a momentum where working groups in the working groups can also, be created new consortium or new partnership. I just wanted to quote a couple of projects that have been born inside the network of ERIAF, which are, for example, Footpath project. Thanks to Footpath, which is promoted by the food group, food system group, which is led by the Finnish regions, which are hosting the annual conference. Thanks to the combination of the project and the annual conference, it's also possible to provide some travel reimbursement, for example. That's also a facilitation that is really a concrete help to attend even a European event, even just 2 days after European election, even in a region which is not so geographically centered. Footpath is a project which is well, increasing regional cooperation, synergies, and different aspect in various food systems. That's and the ambition to monitoring the food systems transition to establish a more sustainable food system. And I would like also to remind another project, which is Humus, and that's a part of the EU Mission Soil. And Humus is a project that involve also local municipalities. That's pretty uncommon. Really, local municipalities can be involved in through Humus in a European project. And to conclude, and reminding the annual conference is dedicated to the team of regions as change makers of European resilience and sustainability. That's also a focus that allows me to come back to the core, to the meaning, to the purpose of this network, which is offering the opportunity to the regions to be more active and more stronger than in the past for being a kind of influence in the European integration process, promoting very useful and concrete projects that they can directly choose. AREAF is not a legal entity. When we attend as AREAF to the tenders or European calls, we act through our regional members, and that's another element of flexibility of the network, which is facilitating also the maintenance of the network. Let me conclude, Riccardo, with a call. I would like to host as AREAF another workshop that we were used to host in Brussels with other stakeholders and with other actors in the forestry sectors, specific on the forestry sectors. I see this time frame. Well, we have the annual conference on June this year. The next region that will host the annual conference in 2025, it will be surprise, Catalonia in September. And we have this time frame, well, what we can do in spring 2025. Why not a workshop in Brussels aimed by the stakeholders, which are here on the forestry sector? Thank you for your attention.
Very good. Thank you, Samuele. Okay, so keep your question, because the second part of the session will be dedicated to discover more about the projects and network presented today, and so you will have the time afterwards. I really agree with you about establishing connection. For example, there's SMURF project led by Alvaro that will be presented in the following session. The next General Assembly, we will organize it in the same framework, meaning in Sei Naoki during the AREAF annual conference. And this will allow to all the project partners to be there using the travel and accommodation expenses in the framework of the project. But of course, there are possibility to connect. Okay, so the second speaker is Tony Ventre. Tony is the secretary of the Mediterranean Model Forest Network. Of course, special thank you for this group, because they are co-organizers and sponsor of this event. So thank you, and thank you, Tony. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. It's really a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure to work with the Cesefor team, Pablo and all the team. And for sure, I take the opportunity to thank the all the partnership, the whole partnership of the One Forest project, the coordinators, Sandra and Martin, and each member of the partnership, because we are arrived now at the end, almost the end of the project, but we had the opportunity to see the results, and we are happy that we were able to give a little contribution in the project, like Mediterranean network. From Tuscany to Tuscany, I'm sorry, but we remain there. So my name is Tony Ventre. I'm a forest engineer. I am here on behalf of Tuscany region, and I work there after 22 years in a local administration in the forestry management, and state of the art of the network. But regarding the Mediterranean Model Forest Network, maybe that most of you already knows, but I take care to run in the history of the model forest, because in this way it's possible to understand what means model forest approach. And for this reason, I have to start from the birth of the model forest network in Canada in 1992, where the Canadian government started to develop this concept in a period where they had a lot of conflicts, and what we know now, that conflict we have still now in the forest management and in the rural governance. And they started with the first 10 experimental model forests in Canada territory, and then 1 year, the same year, in 1992, in the Rio conference, they spread the concept of model forest during the conference with what I name a visionary approach, because now we talk a lot about a landscape approach, but 32 years ago it was a visionary approach in this sense, in this meaning. And in the 1995, started the secretariat based in Ottawa, by Canada government. And it's every time that I present the model forest, I know that it's very difficult to be short, for me mainly, regarding the concept of model forests, in what way it works, but really is a way to put the stakeholders with the different interest, with the different objectives in the same place, to transform the conflict in opportunity in a project. In this way, the meaning is like hot water, but it's not so easy. And the problem is to develop and to create a permanent structure that works to design project for the territory, for the communities. I repeat, not with if we agree each another, but we have conflict regarding all the issues that rural territories have to face. And for in this meaning, I think that the better way to explain about model forest, that is not a project, but is a process, is a dynamic process during the years, and to realize a common vision. But the path is the path, and the process is at the same time the model forest approach. An example: just at the beginning of this year, we had the acknowledgement of the 64 model forests in the world, and the 9 in the Mediterranean area, in Western Macedonia and Greece. They worked for 13 years in the model forest to arrive at the success. But the success is not the acknowledgement, but the path, because they were working in the model forest approach for 13 years, and just now is a step that maybe doesn't change anything. But for this reason, the principle that we shared in the network are the landscape, as I said before, regarding the landscape approach, the partnership that later I explained also at two different levels of partnership, and sustainability. And in this way, in 31 years, we have this situation, and we have more than 64 model forests in the world, and has organized like governance in a regional network. And each regional network has its own challenge, and others shared with other regional networks. So in this way, we can adapt, we can implement the different goals and different objectives in the different regions. And regarding the Mediterranean network, we have to say a big thanks to the Castilla y León region and Álvaro. In 2007, they started with to create a regional network in the Mediterranean area, and this at the beginning, the Cesefor managed the secretariat for the network, and for 10 years they have managed so well and to spread the concept around the Mediterranean area. In 2019, Tuscany region decided to apply to maintain the concept of the model forest also in the rotation of responsibility and duties. And so they decided the Tuscany government decided to manage the secretariat. And in these 5 years, we managed this. But now, just 2 weeks ago or 3, Tuscany government decided to maintain the secretariat till 2028. So we have now the state of the art is to date we have 9 model forests, 9 officially recognized model forests, 1 model forest candidate in Palencia in Castilla y León, and we are so happy because we know that there is another project now to relaunch the Palencia model forest. And the model forests are in 10 countries in the Mediterranean basin, and they have more than 1,300,000 hectares. And so we have also 3 initiative model forests in Morocco, in Atlas, close to the Ifram model forest, and in Boscopoia in Albania, and in Shuf in Lebanon. The secretariat is organized like as usual, like the secretariat works to coordinate the model forest, to support the model forest, for fundraising, for the regional partnership, and so on. But the real job is done by each model forest in the network. And about the networking, because we are here to talk about networking. The model forests work in 2 different levels of networking. We have the first one, and I think the most important in each model forest, an internal networking among the different categories in each territory. So you have in the same territories environmentalist association, local administration, landowners, forest manager, any kind of association, enterprises who works together. And this allows to have a really shared vision and a really shared capacity to design project for the territory, for the people who lives there. And also it helps the public administration to have a good relationship with this kind of stakeholders. The second level is among the network, in the regional network and the international network, because we know that every opportunity that we have, like today and tomorrow, where we have the opportunity to share knowledge, to share experiences, to share best practices, is a richness for each one of us. And this happens also between the different regional networks. We are started now with this kind of opportunity. Beyond the three pillars, we have other three principles who merge with the others. So they have governance, program of activities, and knowledge sharing. So in each model forest has a strategic plan to work for the specific needs of their own territories. Partnership, the international partnership and collaboration, we have a lot of, you can see in the slide, but we have the international bodies like FAO, AFI, and Slow Food International, Area of Network, and other at national level, or forest certification schemes, and so on. And regarding projects, it's too long to list the project, but I would like to mention just the one forest that we are here for this reason, but we have also other projects in Horizon 2020, like DigiMed4, about traceability of timber and digitalization. But we work also with in collaboration with the FAO, with the Forest Landscape Restoration Mechanism, with Silva Mediterranean, and also with the national agency like the Italian Agency of the Development and Cooperation, and also with the ICI, the German agency about climate. But not only project in the European program, but for sure, each model forest has a lot of projects. Different projects is impossible to list, but just as some example regarding ecotourism, about forest pedagogy, forest therapy, which are starting with another project now, and landscape and forest restoration, forest working training, and so on. I would like to talk about each model forest of the Mediterranean network, and it's impossible, but I'm specifically happy in this occasion because we have here the 5 representatives of 5 model forests in the Mediterranean area, the Fran model forest, Tlemcen model forest from Algeria, and Istria model forest, Pacà model forest, and Montagne Fiorentina model forest. So for this reason, I invite you to ask directly to them all information about the activities of single model forest that they have they put in place in this moment and in the future. So you have the poster session, but we have a lot of opportunity during the coffee break, during the lunch, and maybe during the tapas tour that I'm worried about this. But anyway, so just a few words regarding the last updating and Canada's Global Forest Leadership Program, because the last year, the Canada government started with this program to support a lot of initiative regarding the topics, the issues that we have to face in the rural management forestry, but not only. And they put funds for these activities, and the good point for our network is that the Canada government decided to put specifically, to use specifically part of these funds through the International Model Forest Network. And for this reason, they put 18.7 million Canadian dollars to develop a lot of activities. And in the Mediterranean area, we are working about this list of projects. The H1 would need a specific talk, but anyway, just about the first one, the analysis tool and validation is a web platform that we are developing with the help of the Cesefor. regarding the monitoring of the intervention of landscape and forest restoration in the model forest territory, also in respect of the Agadir commitment. And I think that we know how is important this point regarding restoration of landscape and ecosystem and forest in the Mediterranean area. And it's important to monitor it too in a correct way. And so we are working for this. And dissemination, the intervention direct of restoration, environmental education. Just last month, we had a meeting in Tuscany with the most of model forest, because we have to work a lot in environmental education, not just for young people, but also for adults to decrease the distance between the citizen and the rural management, rural territory management. So the environmental education is changing, and the need regarding this is changing, and we have to work a lot about this. And so pilot site and scholarship. So, and we need funds, we need innovation, we need research, but I think that we need enthusiasm, because as Bertrand Russell said, is to life, as a hunger is to food. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony. It was excellent. You know, everybody, I am in love with this network, but I have to say it is very particular in the European ecosystem, because this is a network very connected with some specific rural territories, and they are the real people. And when we have an important Horizon Europe project of 4, 5, 6 million euros, but we still have to do something for them, for the real people, and we have to be connected. We have to make pilot sites, case studies, and this kind of connection help us to connect with the territories. And so remember the importance of this kind of initiative. And now, one of the pillars of the European forestry ecosystem, Ignacio Martinez from the European Forest Institute, presenting the bioregion facility. Thank you, Ignacio.
Thank you, Ricardo, for the presentation. Thank you, Cesefor, and the organizers for giving me the opportunity to share with you the work we do in bioregions, but also to interact and get feedback. I'm also very happy because I'm also a fan of EDF network and the Model Forest Network, and I love to collaborate with them. So this is, again, a new opportunity to be together. So I have prepared a presentation, probably too many slides. I will go a bit fast. So first of all, what is the bioregion facility? I have the comment, no? Okay, so bioregion facility is a platform of regions to advance together towards the forest-based bioeconomy. So it's open to regions with a mandate to advance in the bioeconomy, with a focus on forest landscape, resources, and forest-based bioeconomy. And we have now, it's a small network by design. So we have 3 full member regions. We have several observer regions, including the Committee of the Regions in Brussels, and we have extended networks. So we cooperate with other regional networks and many other regions in our activities. I was saying you that this is small by design because when we created bioregions, we didn't want to replicate EDF. So we are a small region with a strong secretariat. So instead of being an extended network with a secretary that provides basic networking, our regions contribute to a multi-donor trust fund, so we can really implement, let's say, stronger activities because we have our own resources. One basic idea was to work in these areas that will present you in a strategic way, not depending only on European projects that force you to change from one topic to another one. So we wanted to have capacity to work sustaining time strategically. So our regions contribute to a common pot. We develop activities, and most of these activities are open to any region. Okay, but before I wanted to share with you a little bit on the rationale, why we did this. So we know that we have this double challenge today. So we start with the donuts economy. We have the double challenge of reduce the environmental footprint and impacts of, let's say, our human activities, but at the same time, we need to create jobs, opportunities for development, richness, participation spaces. So we need to create a safe environmental space for humanity. So we have this double challenge of reduce the impact while we increase the opportunities for people. And we believe that the bioeconomy is well placed for this. So it's clear by now that we need a transformation, and many different sectors propose different solutions. We started with the green economy and green the energy sector, but we also started saying, let's go slow food, let's do the growth, let's reduce our consumption patterns. Others say, no, let's become circular. Others say, no, let's become biocircular. So I think around all these solutions is what we need to do. So we believe that in a bioeconomy, that what we envision is a bioeconomy where the natural resources, our natural capital is at the base, society is at the center, and we need to do the best of our ecosystem services. And this means making the best our regulatory services, putting into value the cultural values of our landscapes. It means using the biomaterials and the provisioning services in a smart way. This means with fully implementing circular principles of reuse, of eco-design, of a sharing economy, etc. So this is how we envision this bioeconomy. It's not just a bio-based sector. Maybe the first European strategy was very much about using bio. Using bio resources is enough, but we do believe that we believe in this more transformative bioeconomy. Why I say this? Because this gives us some of the clues of our bioregions work. So the first one is that this is a lot about cross-sectoral engagement. So bioeconomy is not the forest sector 4.0. Bioeconomy is about transforming the construction sector, it's transforming the mobility, it's transforming the lifestyles and the fashion, it's transforming the textile industry, it's transforming manufacturing, packaging, plastic-free agriculture. And this means that we need to engage those sectors in the bioeconomy. So we need to break these barriers in a much stronger way. And then, of course, when we say let's do timber construction, obviously it's not enough. We need to do it efficiently, but also we need to see what type of cities we are living in. The 15-minute cities, etc. So we envision bioeconomy. We need to implement urban forestry. We need to implement green infrastructure. We need to do food in our rooftops. We need to harvest water in cities, etc. So we believe in this bioeconomy, which is much more integral. Secondly, we say, if we need to transform our economy in this way, regions are placed at the center. So we have regional sector, regional focus, and we need to transform our regional sectors based on our natural resources. So this is, we are not in the bioeconomy model of, I don't know, Rotterdam Harbor, which is the biggest bioeconomy or biorefinery hub in Europe with imported biomass. We believe in a bioeconomy which is closer to the model forest approach in this sense, which is territorial based. Our own resources, making the best and solving our environmental problems and transforming our own sectors. And for these regions are well placed. Many regions in Europe, like Castilla and León, have strong mandates, capacities, economic, in research, in industry, in agriculture, also Italian regions, German regions. We have regions with strong capacities. And do we believe also regions provide the necessary economic of scale? This direct farm to consumers has very limited. You need some economic of scale, and then we are forest based. No need to explain. We believe that forests are a very relevant ecosystem, and this is a unique point of our network that we really focus on forest bioeconomy, and also there are many synergies with other types of bioeconomy, but we have this forest component. Okay, and fourth, if we want to do this systematic transformation, we need to work in different elements here. So we summarize in this phase. Of course, you need policies, plans, and political ambition and support, but then you need to work on the resource management in the climate change and social change context. You need to work in the demand for bio-based products. You need to create, you need to work in the research capacity, in skills and development of the workforce. You need to improve your access to finance. And you need a society that is not only aware, which is engaged and participate. So these are some. So we need to work in these areas, and here what we try to do is to let's say to improve the enabling conditions at this level. So this is what we do. We say we have 3 missions to improve the enabling conditions for bioeconomy at the regional level in these dimensions that I mentioned before. We need to increase our capacity to innovate. We need a more vibrant innovation ecosystem, and we need well-informed and aware and engaged societies in general terms. So when we say enabling conditions I presented before, when we say ecosystem, this means that we need to engage all the different actors that are on the innovation ecosystem, and we need to create this idea that there is a bioeconomy ecosystem on the works. So if we look here, this is an example of North Karelia, but if you look at business accelerators, venture capital active, if you look at leading company, many of those, they are not aware that they belong to the bioeconomy ecosystem. And we need to engage them. In many cases, regions have public procurement in one side, innovation support in another one, forest strategy here, construction strategy there, but this does not converge to a common place. Okay, so this is easy to say, difficult to implement, of course. How we work more in practice. We have three areas of work. One is a policy learning platform where we exchange initiatives, policies, initiatives, and we try to get access to best practices, access to network, resources of people. Then we try to develop an open innovation hub and interconnect our regional innovation ecosystems and what we call a social awareness toolbox. And then we have two cross-cutting elements. One, of course, is engage our regions and regional actors to the EU networks. And here we're complementary to ERIAF and not competing. We don't do position papers, we don't do lobby, we don't take positions, but we try to activate activities and connect actors and show what regions do. So we want to strengthen the regional dimension of policies, but we don't directly engage in commenting policies. And then we make a big effort, as I was saying before, to engage regional actors and cross-sectorality at the regional level. So just some examples of what we do. Policy learning platform. For example, we work for 2 years on bio-based procurement. So we interview our procurement agencies, how they do green procurement. Do they consider the bio specifically? They don't. Then we launch, we put them together to discuss and meet each other. We launch an international survey. We look for international practices. We develop an international workshop. We raise some conclusions, the 7 ingredients for bio-based procurement. Can you do it? Is it possible? Okay, so this is the work we do, but most importantly, in this process, we connect our regional agencies, we raise awareness of the bio, we connect them to the working group in Brussels on green procurement, and we highlight some cases. Celand province has a fantastic bio-based procurement project. And I just to give an example, the Basque Country has received a prize about the green procurement, fantastic program. They have a bioeconomy strategy, but they have no bio-based consideration at all, for example. So we raise this awareness. Just summarizing. So this is the type of effort. And of course, we benchmark bioeconomy strategies and other initiatives, and we share them. So there's interesting elements there to learn from each other. The Catalan bioeconomy strategy, for example, is interesting in the sense that they identify their biomass sources, but identify their environmental problems, and they try to solve environmental problems with their biomass. For example, let's say pig manure is a big problem, and they have a focus there how they can solve the pig manure through the bioeconomy, or wildfires is a big problem, and what they need to do to address the wildfire issue, activating the forest bioeconomy. So they link not only their biomass, but also territorial ambitions in the bioeconomy strategy. And then second pillar, we are advancing to an open innovation hub. The idea of open innovation is very simple. If any region, why would we invest in a multi-criteria model to improve our forest management if one forest has already done one? So what we need to do is to identify who has done this, bring to our networks, develop a partnership, and as the question was placed before, advance with one forest results. We don't need to invent. We need to fast track to innovation, know who is there, who is working, attract talent, exploit project results, and give opportunity to startups. So here we are working, socializing open innovation. So we launched a Bioregions Challenge years ago. We have a winner from this province. So we ask our regions what are the key issues, and this time was for example carbon farming. So we launched a challenge on carbon farming. We identify startups, we select them, and then we mix them and present them to our regions. We had also other topics here. We do online speed datings in the same sense. It's a different tool we have tested and developed. For example, we were working about monitoring forest for disaster prevention and management. So we identify startup, new technologies. We pitch them online in online speed datings. Now we've been working 9 months on carbon farming. We have 80 startups that are providing carbon farming services. We mix them with our networks, and it's a matter of creating awareness, creating connections online. We also pitch schemes for carbon sequestration at regional level. You know, there are different solutions coming in Europe, etc. So there we have work with different, and now we are also doing innovation days online. We did one innovation day in Basque Country last year. This year we're in Germany, and these innovation days are about cross-sectoral connections at the regional level, So we bring some keynotes, but especially we bring innovators and startups around a critical topic. So this year, North Rhine-Westphalia wants to, what new opportunities are for forest owners? Risk of abandonment, lack of motivation, lack of profitability, bark beetle, climate change, a negative social context, how we can activate forestry, what are the new opportunities for forest owners to create. But we tackle this not from the policy side, we tackle this from the innovation side. What is in there? On non-wood forest products, on carbon farming, on what else? Small businesses, small construction businesses for what else can we do? So we try to bring innovators and put them together in a network. Second topic is new bio-based materials. So we bring several startups. So it's a festival of innovation. We try to have cross-sectoral connections. We try to reinforce the role of forest in the bioeconomy. North Rhine-Westphalia has a new bioeconomy council, which is very agri-based. So the local effort is also to bring and connect and showcase the opportunity of the forest sector. And then we specifically network innovation support initiatives. So here we will have, for example, the Smart Wood Center of North Rhine-Westphalia. We have the new Catalan Hub for Innovation in Wood. We have the Basque Accelerator, and we have the International Forest Initiative, which is a dedicated startup incubator for forest startups in Germany. So we bring that together and we foster synergies, how we can collaborate, because our ambition is to develop a stronger innovation hub. So what we're doing here is to create an ecosystem of startups. We are connecting innovation support services, and our ambition is to create a more structured open innovation hub in collaboration with our regions, for example, with Cesefor. So we can have European reach, attract talent to our regions, and give opportunities to our startups to further develop. And at the same time, we are connecting these regional ecosystems. So the Catalans meet the Austrians, the Castile and Leon can meet the people working in German innovations, and they can also foster their collaboration. And of course, we always try to create synergy with local events. Let it be EURTEC, let it be the Bioeconomy Forum of Castile and Leon, let it be Forest and Photonics of North Karelia. We try to bring our activities to these forums and give them also international dimension and enhance what they do. And finally, we have the social awareness toolbox. What we've been doing basically is a toolkit for surveys. So in this case, in collaboration with ERIAF Network, we launched a survey for regions in 7 languages, how region stakeholders perceive the bioeconomy, what are the opportunities, the challenges, the risks, the drivers, barriers, etc. Or we launched also a collaborative survey in Europe about students' perceptions on the bioeconomy, and entrepreneurs' attitudes on the bioeconomy. And here we normally do synergy with European projects. So now there is a big survey about forest owners' perspectives on forestry and bioeconomy. So we will launch this through our region, so we can have regional insights in comparison or with an European survey. So we try to give our stakeholders in regions a better understanding on how their society, the stakeholders perceive the economy, and we do this in a collaborative way, so we can benchmark and compare to each other. Okay, so this is, and we were asking students, will you be an entrepreneur? Do you have training in entrepreneurship at your faculty? Do you know where are your entrepreneurship support services in your region? So this, and we do this because we try to bring university to the debate. We have a lot of life science faculties, and we have zero entrepreneurship training or spirit, generally, in many cases. So we try to network around this, raise awareness, and eventually, if our regions pick the topic, then we can further work. Because this network is regional lead, so we have every other month, we have a meeting with our regional contact points. We discuss the work program, lessons learned, what has been done, and it's a flexible work program. We have some activities, but we can also tackle opportunities, create synergies, and if the region see, yes, this is interesting, let's work more in this, we go. If they say public procurement is enough, we don't want to do more here, we don't do more. So it's regional led. Or at least we try. And finally, of course, we have these communication channels. We try to raise awareness of the, let's say, positive elements of the forest bioeconomy and how our regions are acting. So this is in a nutshell what we do. Finally, I mentioned before that we want to bring opportunities to work in Brussels. So we are a small network, but we have let's say, stronger secretariat, so we can collaborate with other actors and support initiatives. So, for example, yeah, we have we collaborate with regional networks like ERIAF and ERIN, but we collaborate with the European Investment Bank, with the FCBF, the European Circular Bioeconomy Fund, the Venture Capital of Europe for Bioeconomy, with the Committee of the Regions, with the Partnership for Regional Innovation. So we're present in multiple forums, and every time we can, we try to develop synergies and work together. So one example is ERIAF was mentioning this Forest Innovation Workshop. Last year in January, we collaborated with ERIAF and other stakeholders. We developed this Regional Innovation Network, tackling EU policy priorities, but showing how innovation is tackling them. So we had one forest there, we have other elements. So this is the way we work. We are very open to collaborate, to promote, and we use our resources to activate also other networks. Next year, with ERIAF, we are working in this Forest Innovation Network, but this year we are working with INNOVAForONE in a wood innovation network. Okay, bringing what is it about circularity, resource efficiency, what carbon storage improve, what is the topic that the Commission is pushing, so we don't discuss the policies, but we show how companies and governments in our regions are tackling them through innovation. So it's a way of, if you want, soft lobby. So we say, are you worried about this topic? Let's see how the regions are doing, stakeholders are doing, and then you take your own conclusions. And this is in a nutshell what we do in the Valladolid facility. And happy to network with you.
Thank you. It was very interesting. When a project comes to its end, like ours, we are still wondering how we will get in touch. We will still have a network, a website. This is the big problem of the European cooperation, isn't it? But we have the networks. So jump into networks, and they are offering some opportunities to regularly meet in an informal way, as Samuele said, as Inneso said. So these are the opportunities, basically, we have. Another network, more specific, presented by our dear Vanessa Bagno from the Secretariat of INNOVAForONE. Please, Vanessa. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ricardo, for the invitation, for the presentation. Thank you, Pablo, Alvaro, and people from Cesefor for inviting me to be today here. And okay, I'm going to present the European Network for Wood Science, Technology, and Education, INNOVAForONE. INNOVAForONE is a non-profit association founded in 2007, and it represents a network of around 70 organizations in Europe and also overseas, with some members in Australia and New Zealand, for example, and representing 30 countries in Europe. We have 4 groups of member organizations. The first one is universities from both academic and technological topics or fields, and covering the whole value chain from the wood-based sector or forest-based sector. The second group is represent the research and technology organizations, which includes the larger national research centers, but also laboratories or technological research centers. The third group includes clusters and networks, and also organizations with promotion agencies. And the fourth group is the vocational educational training institutions. INNOVAForONE is confirmed by an executive board and a secretariat. The executive board are formed by elected representatives of the network, and they take the strategic decisions. Currently, there are 7 people in the executive board. The president is Erik Landroy from Nibio in Norway, and the vice president is Mike Barnard from Slovenia, from reunió, Slovenia. But is confirmed as well by Javier García Jaca from Tecnalia, Spain, Dobrogna from Poznan Institute of Technology in Poland, Wisnia Kosnak from the Hall Cluster Steiermark in Austria, and Chris de Rock from the Center for Wood and Furniture Industry in Brussels, Belgium. And the Secretariat, we are the Secretariat, is a small team, an international and interdisciplinary team led by Uwe Kirs, the Secretary General, and our main tasks are communication, doing advocacy, membership services, which will be explained a little bit more in detail later. We do project management of the European projects and also support in research for our members. INNOVAForONE is located virtually in Brussels, but all of us working remotely from different countries in Europe. And what is the main objective of INNOVAForONE? Okay, we try to connect our members to work mainly in researching innovation initiatives, mainly from European research projects, and actively doing advocacy for our topics on the European level. We also connect our members and the results of our projects with the industry and the society. So our ambition is to connect, share, and influence. And how do we work? Okay, we work mainly through European funded projects and also participating in different platforms. Our main projects are focused in the different parts of the whole value chain, from the forests, for example, with this example of a European funded project by Horizon 2020 or Horizon Europe, which won't be presented today because there are too many people here expert on this project, and we are partners here. Most of our current projects are focused on wood products, construction, renovation, and recycling. For example, with this project, Wasahaun is a good example to show how the whole wood value chain is involved in one project. It's focusing to do a co-creation process, a co-design of timber building from the forest management to the first and secondary industry, and also including the end users. And it's focused, or there are both rural and urban areas involved in this co-creation process. Other example of our project is, for example, this AIR project is a project which tried to answer the new European policies in energy efficiency in buildings and try to develop solutions for renovation, for building renovation through a package of wood-based materials or bio-based materials to be more efficient in energy. Or, for example, this other project, EcoRefiber, which is focused on how in circular economy for the wood products for construction, mainly in wood-based panels. But we work also in projects related to the furniture and interior. And these projects in furniture and interior are mainly Erasmus Plus projects, not so much Horizon Europe projects. And we are also collaborating or participating or even leading several alliances or platforms. So we try to be the voice of our members to talk in these different platforms and alliances. For example, related to the forest sector, we are collaborating or participating somehow with the SCAR, the Working Group on Forests, or with this EU project, which is a project which will be presented by Alex later. And we are also participating in the Wood Rise Alliances, which try to boost and promote the mid-rise timber buildings worldwide, or these wood pop alliances about policies. And we are also involved in several platforms related to the new European Bauhaus. And what is this new European Bauhaus? It's an initiative launched by the European Commission by the President of the European Commission herself in 2020, in which tried to connect the European Green Deal with our living spaces. This new European Bauhaus is a call for bio-based materials and nature-based solutions for our living spaces. And I'm going just to read what the President said when it was launched. We know that the construction sector can even be turned from a carbon source into a sink if organic building materials like wood and smart technologies like artificial intelligence are applied. The mastermind behind this new European Bauhaus initiative is, is the Professor John Schoenhuber. And he's a scientist in climate change and in I don't know, I don't know, in climate change scientist. And he was the mastermind behind this new European Bauhaus. He's a professor there. And his statement is this sentence, okay, reforesting the planet and retimbering the cities. Timber construction is a true silver bullet for climate change. So under this initiative of the new European Bauhaus, the Wood for Bauhaus Alliance was created, and it was launched at the same time in 2020. And the main objective is to transform the built environment into a long-term carbon sink for climate restoration, but also considering timber as a substitute for fossil and energy-intensive demanding products such as concrete or steel or even plastic for insulation, for example. So the three main objectives of this Wood for Bauhaus Alliance is to foster sustainable nature-based materials and solutions, to promote circular long-life wood products and innovations, and try to upscaling the industrial knowledge and also the architectural, engineering, and construction sector. So the Wood for Bauhaus intends to be an open platform for sharing, co-creation, skills, and policy development in the European wood sector. This Wood for Bauhaus Alliance was launched by several umbrella organizations. It's led by INNOVAForONE, with Ubekis as a chairman. And they are the core of the Wood for Bauhaus is the European Panel Federation, the European Confederation of Woodworking Industries, the European Organization of the Sawmill Industry, the European Federation of Building and Woodworkers, and also with reunió. And here is just a summary on how the whole value chain is involved in this Wood for Bauhaus idea. The forest, which is, as you know, for you maybe this is so obvious, but depending on the public, when you are talking with, for example, builders or even with architects, it's not so obvious. The forest can store carbon, but also provide materials to be transformed in long-life wood products, which at the same time store carbon, and also be implemented in the built environment. So the cities can be carbon sinks, but thinking into main concepts. The first one is circular economy. We can reuse our wood and our products to be used in another product and coming back to the built environment. And we need to develop more digitalization of the world wood-based sector. And we need, of course, skills and educations. As all of you know, wood is not an only material. Every species, every region, every forest management provide different mechanical properties or other properties for wood. So when architects, engineers, or builders are using wood for construction, they need to know these properties and how this environment and origins influence these properties. So this is a huge work to upscaling the use of wood in the built environment. But we are also participating from other platforms, other initiatives. In this case, for example, is the European Wood Policy Platform, named WoodPop. It was launched originally by the ministries of Austria and Finland. And nowadays the secretariat is hosted by the UFRO. WoodPop is an innovative policy dialogue platform which brings together all relevant actors to advance in this sustainable use of wood in construction. The WoodPop is divided in 3 main groups of work. The first one, or the smaller one, is technical working groups focused on governance, building, innovation and research, education and vocational training, and communication. Is how we need to develop, to boost, or to foster this the use of wood in construction. There are other group which grouped these other technical working groups, named the expert group meeting group for foreign exchange and on operational level, and the high level meeting. This is a group for decision making. From INNOVAForONE, we are the voice of our members in these high level meetings, which were the first one in 2022 in Austria, and the second one last year in Helsinki. And we are also working, and some of you which are today here, in the new European Bauhaus Academy, which was launched last month by the European Commission. The idea of this is to provide training for professionals in circular bio-based construction, renovation, and urban transformation, mainly focused on wood, but not only wood, also other bio-based materials. And we applied to European funding, and the NEB Academy was funded by this Circular Bio-Based Europe. The first hub for this NEB Academy is hosted by the University of Primorska, and several European organizations are part of them. INNOVAForONE, one of them, and Cesefor is another one, and also Boku, the people here. Last week, this NEB Academy was presented by the European Commission in Brussels in the NEB Festival. And we don't have time, but just some statements from the president about this NEB Academy, and also by Andrea Kudnat, which is the coordinator of this NEB Academy. And finally, just to mention some services from INNOVAForONE to our members, is just to try to our members get benefits from INNOVAForONE, staying informed of current and future trends, share experiences, better insight, build partnerships, and join forces and exploit synergies for doing research and innovation in the wood sector. With some examples of what we provide to our members is this event calendar with the announcement of several congresses, fairs, or different events in the topics, or sorted by topic and by date, or this other funding navigator, which provide the main calls related to the sector, and with a summary and trying to get or collect the organizations interested in the different topics to work together and to provide the space for discussing and to develop the new proposals. And we have one General Assembly annually. Last year was in Tallinn, Estonia. Next one will be in Prague, in Czech Republic, next month. So our General Assembly is also a space for networking, for sharing information, sharing interests, and to think on new proposals. So you are all invited to be there if you are interested. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Vanessa. Excellent presentation. We are so proud to be part of the new European Bauhaus Academy network. We are everywhere, of course, I know. And yes, it's a very important line of work for us. We are developing in Spain a full training system for construction with wood. And we see there is a real need in Spain and an important consideration at the European level. So for us, it's big investment, and we would like to develop a product that we can sell in at national level and outside. So you will hear about it again. And now the next and last network is presented by the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. It is called Silva Mediterranea, and we have with us the coordinator, Giovan Battista Dedato. Please, Giovan Battista, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for the presentation. And I also want to thank you, the government of Spain, for the continued support to Silva Mediterranea that allow us to run several activities, including be here in this moment. So my name is Giovan Battista Dedato, Secretary of Silva Mediterranea. And so the title of this session is the EU Forestry Networking. So actually, Silva Mediterranea goes beyond the European continent because the focus is the Mediterranean. So we work not only with the Mediterranean countries around the basin, but only with the African countries, Eastern countries of the region, because the affiliation is open to member countries of the European Forestry Commission, the Near East Forestry Commission, and the African Forestry and Wildlife Commission. But as you can see from the map, there are also countries that are not around the basin, but actually they share the several challenges and aspects, characteristics close to those of the Mediterranean countries related to the forest, agriculture, and grazing economies. So currently there are 27 members, including countries and the EU. So generally speaking, the mission of Silva Mediterranea is to review the trends in the use of forest land, to assist in the formulation and implementation of national forest policies, and identify forestry research priorities. So Silva Mediterranea has actually a long history dated back to 1911 with the Mediterranean Forestry League, but it was in 1948 that it became part of FAO, assuming the name of Silva Mediterranea in 1956. And it was recognized as a committee of FAO in 1985. So the country members of Silva Mediterranea regularly meet about every 2 years in officially during its the sessions where the country members meet to discuss the main questions and issues about the forest sector in the region. And the discussion in the past were clearly based on how to increase the wood production. So but now currently the new threats and challenges in the region are different. And so starting from 1992, the discussion went towards the climate change mitigation, especially after the Rio Convention. So and most recently, for example, in Agadir in 2017, the member countries adopted the Agadir commitment that aimed to restore at least 8 million hectares of the degraded land in the region. And then just to mention the last session that occurred in Antalya in 2022, it was the occasion to for the member countries to discuss about the possibility, the chance to submit the region to the UNDK flagship initiative, and where also the Mediterranean Youth Task Force was created. I will mention this in a while. Silva Mediterranean is organized in several working groups. Currently, there are 5 working groups that are led by different member countries. Namely, we have wildfire, forest genetic, non-wood forest products, restoration, and urban and peri-urban forestry. Here, I just mentioned some of the most recent activities of the working groups. Basically, workshops and capacity building events, and then also this publication that was launched during the 8th International Wildland Fire Conference in Portugal about 1 year ago. It is the wildfire prevention in the Mediterranean. Basically, it is and it was published by Miteco and EFI. It was basically an update of the position paper published in 2011 on wildfire prevention a previous publication that dates back about 10 years ago, and that needed to be updated. We're considering the new development and challenges in the region. It is freely available online, maybe also in Catalan, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it's not important. But for sure in English and French, maybe. Anyway, go check on the website. So I mentioned before the Mediterranean Youth Task Force. This is the final product of a dialogue that started during the 23rd session in Lebanon in 2019. So the member countries expressed the need to involve the young generation in the dialogue about the forestry issues in the region, in order also to receive feedback, to involve them in the development of the policies, to have more connection also with the universities and the creation of new internship. And here, so this task force that is the youth branch of Silva Mediterranea is made by young people below 35 working in the region, students and professionals. And here I mentioned only some of the recent activities that they run, and in particular the side event at the World Food Forum that was focused on youth-led agroforestry, and the series of master classes on voluntary carbon markets and its climate change mitigation potentials. The Mediterranean flagship, I mentioned before that during the dialogue, the session in Antalya, considering the skill, the expertise in the region, and the previous efforts on restoration in the region, the Silva Mediterranea presented the region as a flagship in order to don't have now, to inspire other countries to upscale similar efforts in terms of landscape restoration. So the idea of the flagship was developed considering the whole region as a unique area, but with a specific focus on 4 countries, namely Lebanon, Morocco, Tunisia, and Turkey. So the main activities will focus on showcasing post-fire restoration practices in order to share the knowledge on the best practices that were put on the grounds in terms of post-fire restoration, to increase the political will and to also to create a momentum to increase the regional effort on this hot topic for the area. Another effort that required a huge efforts in terms of cooperation among the countries is the publication of the State of the Mediterranean Forest. The State of Mediterranean Forest is a mandate of Silva Mediterranean. The first edition was in 2013, with the second one published in 2018, and we are preparing now the third edition that we launch in November 2024. We will update the forest statistics of the area in terms of cover and biomass, but there are also chapters dedicated to analyze the current threats and the challenges of Mediterranean forests, the tools to increase resilience of Mediterranean forests, and a final chapter with a link also to the Mediterranean Forest Research Agenda that EFIMED launched in December 2022. The other publication, Una Silva, is a journal published by FAO, and during the COFO, the Committee of Forestry in July, the last week of July of this year in Rome, we will launch the special edition on restoration in the Mediterranean that aims to update a past edition, another special issue that was published about 10 years ago. And it will be focused on the restoration efforts in the area, also to give an overview of the main efforts and the commitment that so the efforts that the countries have done so far in terms of forest and landscape restoration. Okay, quickly I want also to mention some projects where Silva Mediterranean is involved in the area together with FLRM, the Forest and Landscape. Actually, it is led by the Forest and Landscape Restoration Mechanism of FAO, but this project that has a Mediterranean component in Morocco and Lebanon is run together with the Mediterranean Model Forest Network, and in particular with Associazione Foresta Modello delle Montagne Fiorentine that Tony mentioned before. So this is another effort, another example of cooperation in the region that aims at implementing restoration activities on the ground in Morocco in particular now we, especially with the Associazione Foresta Modello delle Montagne Fiorentino, and also organize exchange visits on restoration between Morocco and Italy. Okay, here there are some of the details of the activity on the ground. And this is the last slide, if I'm not mistaken. The Mediterranean Forest Week. The organization of the Mediterranean Forest Week is another mandate of Silva Mediterranea, and it is a regional platform for policymakers, for researchers, for stakeholders to increase dialogue and exchange experience. The next edition, that is the 8th, is entitled Working Together for Sustainable and Resilient Mediterranean Forest Towards a Collaborative Roadmap. So the idea is to focus to stress the need for collaborative efforts for protecting and managing our forests, covering all the need without losing any all the services that the forest and can deliver to our communities. The event will be taken in Barcelona from the 4th to 8th of November 2024. The website will be ready by the end of April, and the registration will be open by mid-May. So there will be 6 plenary sessions and an open call for organizing side events, and also a call for posters. So I invite you to visit the website as soon as it will be available. I hope we can reach you with our newsletter in order to advertise also this event, and that the website is open. Cesefor is involved in organizing these events, but also Mediterranean Model Forest Network, but we have other partners that are collaborating with us in this effort, and with a huge contribution is from EFIMED. So yes, this was the last one. I want to thank you again, and that's all. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Giovan Battista. Well, this was the last network. So I understood that we want to cooperate more. There are full of opportunities, but the question is now, which are the opportunities offered by the European Commission? This question will be answered by Tamas Sedlak, who is participating online. Please, if we can test the connection. Yes, I can see Tamas. Thank you very much, Tamas, to be with us, even if online. It's very kind of you. Tamas is working at the DG Agri, the forestry section, and will make a presentation of the opportunities offered by the European Commission for the forestry sector. Please, Tamas, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Riccardo. Good morning or good afternoon, dear colleagues. After this very interesting presentation, I think my presentation a little bit more boring, but I need some feedback whether you see my slide.
We can see it. We can see it.
Yeah, thank you.
Please.
So I try to concentrate on the possibilities offered by the Common Agricultural Policy, particularly the rural development part, for you, for us, for foresters, dealing with research and implementing the sustainable forest management in the field. Just in brief, for this programming period started basically last year and last till 2027, there are 28 CAP strategic plans from the 27 member states, but 5 member states has not included forestry specific interventions through the CAP, but they are indicated and they proved already in the previous period they are supporting forestry related activities out of the CAP. And these 23 member states which submitted forestry related interventions planned approximately 180 forestry related interventions. I mean forestry specific interventions and sub-interventions for these 5 years, approximately 4.2 billion euros. Just in briefly, what kind of interventions can be supported through rural development, environmental, climate-related and other management commitments, including forest environment commitments, natural and other area-specific constraints or area-specific disadvantages resulting from certain mandatory requirements, for example, Natura 2000 restrictions, investments, setting up young farmers, and also, in this case, young foresters can be also supported. There are risk management tools, and I think for us, at this discussion, the important is the different cooperations and knowledge exchange and dissemination of information, because it is very important that the forest managers, owners will be well informed. So under this new delivery model, what you probably heard about, it means that there are no fixed measures like before, that afforestation, agroforestry, prevention measures, restoration measures, but we have basically 3 main articles which covers the most important part of the possibilities for us. Article 70 for management commitments, 72 for Natura 2000 and 73 for investments. And the second part or the third part of my presentation provide more details. As far as I understood, you will receive the presentation, so you will be able to check the particular details. Now I would like to highlight the importance of the cooperation measures, because in this, as for example, the first part says to prepare and implement the project of the European Innovation Partnership operational groups, referred later in the regulation. It is very important because these innovation partnership provide the possibility for the farmers, foresters, researchers, and processors to figure out, to try in the real life environment, the real forest environment, whether the method what the researchers were inventing, it really works in the real conditions, real life or not. And also there are possibilities to run these operational groups for several years. And even if there is a failure, but if you did your best, so you went through the proposed methodology, but it's happened that something doesn't work, you can stop the implementation of the project, and your costs are still covered. So it is somehow a little bit a safety net to risk management, risk mitigation, I would say. And also there are several other cooperation possibilities for forest owners, producer organization, or other type of organizations, and developing strategies and so on. So this is a really flexible system to create new organizations, new cooperations, or starting new activities for existing cooperations. The possibilities for cooperation, also some kind of cooperation and innovation, dissemination of information, is knowledge exchange and dissemination information possibilities. In this, really targeting the protection of nature, environment, climate, environmental education, awareness actions concerning development, rural businesses and communities can be involved. And really, these activities are important for the so-called final beneficiaries, the farmers, foresters, because before they are entering some commitments, it's not so bad if they are well informed. And I experienced during the last 20 years working here in the Commission that several times the farmers and foresters are really not aware about the possibilities or particular technical details and processes, and particularly not about research and innovation values and information. So this knowledge exchange and training possibilities are important because the foresters, farmers, forest management can even travel to other regions to see in the field what are the differences, different methodologies, and how other farmers and foresters working. I always mention the farmers because, you know, to run afforestation on agroforestry system is based on basically a farmer decision. So this is why very important to have this different kind of knowledge transfer and training facilities. And actually, I just inserted some minutes ago this slide based on Ricardo's introductory speech, because I'm almost forgot the European rural development or the European top networks. I was really happy to be able to participate several years ago. Rural Development Network, the Italian network, organized some meetings on forestry, and it was really useful. And now under this new CAP strategic programming period, there is a possibility to continue these cooperations. So I think this is also a good opportunity for you to join to this kind of network or follow through the web, because they have a website, but I had no time to insert it, to follow, to see what kind of issues are raising, because usually the Rural Development Network or the CAP network website, you can find some good examples concerning different projects, forest, also several forest related projects. And I think this is really important for knowledge and information exchange. Concerning the dry financial issues, so I mentioned that approximately 4.2 billion euro total public expenditure. So the EU and the member states' public money will be spent for forestry related interventions and measures and activities. But this is an underestimation because, as I just highlighted, there are also so-called horizontal interventions or horizontal measures like this cooperation, European Innovation Partnership, knowledge exchange actions, and several times these are not forestry specific, but covering also agricultural and other rural development related part. And also some cases the forestry infrastructure are not separated from the agricultural infrastructure. So it is for rather the hardliner who are wanted to know a little bit more concerning forestry measures. So as I mentioned, under this new delivery model, the combination of activities are really broad scale, and this is why later the reporting on the implementation will be a challenge due to the different combination of so-called vertical or horizontal combination of forestry measures. But at least there are room for combination of different activities. So I just go through this, and just as a quick information for you, what kind of activities and where will take place during these 5 years. So you can see that afforestation, new afforestation are planned in these 14 member states. Afforestation maintenance, it is also a challenging issue concerning climate change and different damages on forest, pests and diseases. Agroforestry establishment and restoration, also a challenging area. Yesterday I participated the AgroMix final conference here in Brussels. So there, and also there were many expectations on agroforestry, but the implementation is, I would say, rather limited. So there is a need for boosting the information towards the farmers and foresters in this field. Pardon? Yeah. And also there are infrastructure, forestry infrastructure, forest road or other infrastructure related interventions planned, productive and technological investment in forest, supporting the specific forest management or first processing and marketing of forest products, including woods, or productive investment in forest management when there are possibilities to support new method, new interventions, and targeting productivity of the forest. And traditionally, we have really strong interventions or measures concerning prevention of forest against fire and natural disasters and biotic or abiotic damages, and also restoration after the calamities. And also we have so-called non-productive investment, improving resilience, biodiversity, climate change, serving the increasing of the forest-based ecosystem services. So you can see that 15 member states supporting this or other type of non-productive investments, which are targeting mainly public amenity roles, recreation or protection, or for example, forest genetic resource related investments, which are also very important, particularly concerning the climate change process, when we need appropriate propagation material and genetic resources. And as I mentioned, we have also possibility to support specific forest management commitments, which goes beyond the legal obligations. So several environmental commitments, primarily targeting biodiversity, planned at least 12 member states, or targeting other aspects, for example, forest genetic related management commitments in 5 member states, and this Natura 2000 constraints, compensation, so the restrictions related to Natura 2000 directives can be compensated in several member states. So in brief, this was my short presentation, and I hope that this may help you to see what possibilities are included in the new period for the CAP. So
Yes,
thank you
Thomas.
for the possibilities,
Yeah.
and I will send the updated presentation, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was very, very interesting. I would like to tell to all of you that all the presentations, including the Thomas one, will be made available by email if you are registered to this event. So we will have the opportunity afterwards to better understand and find out more about the presentations of Thomas. Thank you very much, Thomas, and see you next time. Thank you very much for your availability as usual.